What's up, beautiful people? My name is Derek Standifer, aka Ayana's daddy, aka Derek Jr.'s papa, aka my parents' son. And I have the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of interviewing one of Atlanta's most hidden gems, Miss Regina Sunshine Robinson. First of all, Miss Regina, thank you for agreeing to do the interview. And second of all, how are you today, good ma'am?
I'm awesome. Excited to be here with you. A lot has happened since I first met you, so it's a blessing to be able to be on this platform with you, seeing how you've progressed through all these years.
One, I appreciate that. I've been knowing you for about the past going on a decade. I've been going at least 7 years. I remember going to GME. You were at GME when we used to host open mic at GME. And it's been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure knowing you. The work that you have put in Atlanta, the work that you do with the youth, the work that you do with the old folks is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see you grind, good man.
Well, Derek, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. It's interesting when people edify you or give you accolades for something that you would do if nobody knew about it, or just because you're supposed to. It feels a little weird, but I thank you for that. I love everything that I do, and absolutely would do it if nobody knew about it.
So, and that's the beauty. Like, that's what we want people to discover. What are the things that you would do for free that you don't need a paycheck to do? You would do it regardless. You just so happen to make it income generating. So that's the beauty in the work that you do. Like I said, you light up when you talk about it. I've been a part of some of the events that you hosted, and I've had a wonderful time seeing the work that you do. So, again, thank you, and let's get started. So here on Solving Sundays, what we do is I juxtapose solving the Rubik's Cube to solving the twists and turns of life. And we like to bring in movers and doers and shakers in the community so we can have people to look up to and to model after. And you are definitely somebody that I want my baby girl to look up after. So thank you for being a woman to Ayana. All right. Now, the first step of solving the Rubik's Cube, the first step of solving life is to believe. So you wear a lot of hats. You've worked with Fortune 500 companies. You work over a girls mentoring organization. You've been named Atlanta Who's Who for Black Atlanta in 2019. You just got a lot of accolades, a long list of accolades and awards. So what's the end goal for Regina Sunshine? What do you want to be known for when it's all said and done?
I want to be known for loving people and for leaving people better than I found them. I come from a long line of servers, of lovers of people. And that's the thing I remember about them, that they made me feel like I was important. They made me feel like I mattered. They served me and they left me better than they found me. And I want to be that same type of person that when I'm gone, when I'm no longer here, they say, you know what? I was better for knowing her. And not only was I better, but the community was better. That's the end game.
I'm a big believer in being a servant to mankind and womankind. I think God gave everybody a set of skills and a set of traits, and it is our duty to serve using those skills and those traits that God has given us. So thank you for that. And two, one of my favorite jobs when I was young, I used to wait tables, and I learned so much in that process of serving people. And I nicknamed myself a do boy. Not in the serving realm, but in the work that I do. I work with youth all the time. I work with college students all the time. And I consider myself a do boy because we need people who are willing to do the work. And we need people who are willing to do the work with it's not work. It's not work for what you do with those younger. It's not work. It's your calling. And it's draining, but it's a different kind of draining. It's a beautiful tired. So yeah. So after we figure out what it is that we want to do, you want to be known as that servant. The second step of solving the Rubik's Cube, the second step of solving life is to solve your cross. Now, solving your cross is to identify your why. What are your reasons? Why are you such a bent on being a servant? What's the reason behind this?
Well, it goes back to how I was raised, Derek. I've told many people it was nothing for me to wake up in our household and my dad had brought somebody home that was homeless or had nowhere to go. I mean, it has happened to us so many times. Some stranger on the couch, right? You wake up, or somebody comes home for dinner that you've never met before because my mother met them and they needed a home cooked meal. And so all I know is service. It's what I saw. My mother, my father, my grandmother were such big lovers and givers of people. They always say you become who you spend time around. And that's who I was spending time around. And so to see that on a daily basis, it becomes ingrained in who you are. And one of my biggest whys is I want my family to be proud of who I am. Now, I'm already emotional. We just getting started. I don't even know why. But I guess because I'm thinking about them. But, you know, I always wanted my grandmother to say that she was proud of me. And not just because of what I've accomplished, but because of the kind of person that I am. That is a big part of my why. And another thing is I want to fulfill my purpose in the earth. I want to know that I did what I was sent here to do and that my work was not left undone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You said that you are getting emotional, and that's the beauty in having a strong why. Your why is supposed to bring you to tears when you're really thinking about it. You know, I think about my parents. My mother, she passed away from ovarian cancer a week before my 26th birthday. My dad passed away last year from cancer. And I got two beautiful, beautiful troublemaking babies, and when I think about them, I get teary eyed. I gotta dare to conquer the world. I want them to take what I've done and build upon what I've done. And I want my parents to look down on me and say, I'm proud of the work that you've done for other people. So those are why should bring you to tears and should get you emotional. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Um, step 3 of solving the Rubik's Cube, step 3 of solving life is to fill in your corners. And filling in your corners is to surround yourself with the people who will push you and motivate you to be the best version of yourself. It's also surrounding yourself in a positive environment where you can nurture, you can grow, and you can develop because you are who you hang around. You are an average of the company that you keep. So we're going to break this question up into 2 parts. So one, what kind of people do you keep in your circle?
Number one, people that challenge me. I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to be in a room with people that make me uncomfortable and that make me feel like I'm standing still. Because and you know, you get in some circles and you're doing the same thing as everybody else, and you feel like, oh, all right, I'm doing all right. No, I want to be in a room with people that when I walk out, when I go home, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've got work to do. Those type of people. Number two, people that hold me accountable. I have a strong, very small circle of people that if I was to even post something wrong on Facebook, I get a text message or a call. And
What you doing?
immediately, this is not who you are. What are you doing? You all right over there? People that hold me accountable to be who they know that I'm supposed to be. And another group is what I call vision carriers, people who understand the vision that I have for my life and the things I'm supposed to be doing. And not only hold me accountable, but whenever they can, they play a part in making sure that I'm on that mission. And another group, and so, you know, it's a whole long list, but another group of people who have similar talents, people who have similar goals. I found that when you get in a room with other dreamers and people who have big vision for life, that the things that you're talking about don't sound so crazy, if that makes sense. Because I've been in spaces with people who will tell me, oh, you're doing too much. Why you want to do that? Why don't you just go to the house? Why don't you just chill out? And I was like, okay, this is not the room I'm supposed to be in. I need to find another room. Because people who have big dreams and visions, you know, not only do they understand it, but they will give you ideas on how to take it to the next level. So those are the people that I make sure I surround myself with.
And you want people in your circle who encourage you to accomplish these dreams and these goals that scare you. When you say your dreams, you want to, that's a big dream. So let's put you on the path to handle that dream. You know, we have endless possibilities within us. The human being can do anything that we put our mind to. And it's so crazy how people can come into our circle and say, tone it down a little bit. You're doing too much. You need to slow down right now. That's not possible for you. We've seen people break barriers that people never thought would be broken. We just witnessed the first Black woman vice president of the United States. These things, all these barriers that we're breaking, and yet people are still telling people to tone it down. We don't need those kind of people in our circle because they're placing their limits on you. These aren't your limits. They place their limits on you and tell you to tone it down because they're not capable. They don't believe in themselves to accomplish the dream that you said that you was gonna put forth. So thank you for that point. We have Miss Robin Shockley. She says, "Good evening, Regina." And that's right. Be different. Be challenged. Yes, ma'am. We need people in our circle who challenge us. I don't. You see me. I'm a poet. I do spoken word. I do speeches. When I get off stage, and I've been doing this for a while, but when I get off stage, I so greatly appreciate the people who come up to me and say, "Slow down. I think it was great, but you need to slow down. I couldn't understand anything you were saying. or the people who tell me to enunciate words. You know, I got this I speak ATLian, and it's a different language sometimes. People come to and you know you got to learn how to translate, but they're telling me that you got to be able to get your audience get your message to a broader audience. So you gotta be able to clean up and fine tune certain things. And those are the kind of people that we need in our circle to keep us accountable and to make us better and to develop us. So thank you for that. Now, in addition to surrounding yourself with the kind of people, we want to know what kind of environment do you surround yourself in. So how do you feed your mental? How do you feed your spirit? How do you get yourself ready to do the work that you do?
Well, a big part of that is what you allow into your ear gates and your eye gates, right? It's not just our children. We always hear people talking about guarding our children's minds and what they're taking in, but we have to do the same thing. And so I'm very careful about what I watch on television. I'm very careful about the books that I read. I'm very careful about the conversations I allow myself to be a part of. Yes, we need to be a part of diverse conversations, of course, right? So we can get all types of information and learn about all types of different people. But if you're in a situation where they are spewing negative and they're saying things that are tearing people down or tearing down even the people that are involved in a conversation, that's not good. So I protect myself from that. I will remove myself from a situation, from a relationship, from anything that is going to harm my mind or my spirit. And I'm also a person of faith. It's good to spend time alone in prayer and meditation, making sure that you are in alignment for what's right for you. A lot of people have a challenge with being alone, but the more comfortable you are with being alone and making sure that you're okay, then that's going to make a difference in making sure that your overall mission works out. So that's important to me. And I'm very particular about the environment around me, the type of music that's playing, the things that are going on. I'll put on positive affirmation videos on YouTube and go to sleep to that. Just different things that are going into my mind that are not only helping me rest better, but are also helping me build towards what the next day is going to be.
Oh, I'm such a fan of you. I'm such a fan of your work, what you do, and this just kind of solidified and kind of outlined why you're able to do things. We need to practice. People need to practice the renewing of our minds. It's what we allow to go into our minds that affects and shapes who we are. Zig Ziglar, he has a quote that I love: "You are what you are. You are where you are because of what you allow to go into your mind. And if you want to change what you are, and if you want to change where you are, you change what you allow to go into your mind." People, I hear it all the time. People listen to damaging music and say it ain't affecting me. It don't. He's not talking about me. It's not affecting. It does. You might not be able to readily identify it, but it's like they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So if you do eat your apple every day, chances are that you'll be a healthy individual. But what if you substituted your apple for a candy bar? And instead of eating your apple a day, you're eating your candy bar every day. Them two different paths that over 5 years, over 10 years, they have two different results. You can't see it in the day-to-day operations, but long-term results, long-term returns on the gains that you put into your body, so you put into your mind and your spirit. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And one other thing I wanted to add, I heard years ago that you will be in 5 years by certain things. All right. Number one, the books you read. Number two, the people you associate with, the words you speak, the thoughts you think, and the actions you take. And I take those 5 very seriously.
We can tell. It's evident. We can tell. Some very prominent people, some people who choosing to use their life and serve people with their talents. And the beauty of this thing is, right, everybody has a talent that they can serve with. It's just only a small, minute number of people choose to tap into their talent. A lot of people, we follow the crowd and we don't want to tap into what God gave us to do. God gave you something that only you can do, and nobody can do it like you can do it. And it is your duty, your rent. You here. God made you for free. It's your rent to serve with your talents. So thank you for that. We got Mr. Martin. He shouts out, "What's up, Regina?"
Hi, Martin.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Good stuff. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so after we believe in ourselves, after we solve our cross, and after we fill in our corners, that brings us to step number 4. Step number 4 of solving the Rubik's Cube. Step number 4 of solving life is to take it to the next level. Now, you see on the Rubik's Cube, we got the second row solved. In life, taking it to the next level is to continue to grow, continue to get better. So how do you develop? I like to think of myself not as a human being, but as a human becoming. I can always become a better version of myself. So how do you become a better version of Regina Sunshine Robinson?
Well, one of the best things I ever did was get a coach. I have several mentors in different areas, and I got a business slash life coach to assist me. And it was somebody who was already very successful in the areas that I wanted to be successful in. And I agreed to submit to her. And what that meant for me was whatever she told me to do, I was willing to do. Now let's be honest. In the beginning, I didn't want to do anything she asked me to do. I'm telling you, I'm so used. I'm very very independent and strong-willed. And in the beginning, she would ask me to do stuff, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. No. And she had what I call a come to Jesus meeting with me. And she said, all right, Regina. She said, do you really believe that, that I was sent to assist you? I was like, oh, absolutely. I believe that. She said, well, number two, do you believe I have your best interest at heart? I said, yeah, I do. I do. She said, number three, she says, who's more successful, me or you? I said, you are. She said, don't it make sense? You were listening to what I'm telling you? And I was like, you know what? You're right. So how about this? I said, I commit. I said, for the next year, I said, whatever you ask me to do, whatever it is, I will do it without question. Now, I said it and I meant it when I said it. But when the first time she asked me to do something I did not want to do, I had to check myself because I had given her my word. But when I actually did everything she asked me to do, everything in my life changed. I tell people, I had a book I had written for 2 years I hadn't published. In that period of time, I published my first book. It was like everything she challenged me to do because I gave her my word, and I'm big on keeping my word. I had to do it. And at the end of that year, she sat down and she laid out all my accomplishments. And I realized because I was willing to submit to her, because I was willing to accept what? Feedback and criticism and all these other things that helped me to grow. And so the biggest thing that changed my life and helped me to grow was accepting that someone could come in. And I didn't have to be in full control. I didn't have to have all the answers. I had to allow somebody else to come in and help me grow.
I think having a coach is one of the most underutilized methods of success, keys to success. When you're in the picture, you are not able to see, the things that you're doing wrong, the small, minute differences that you can make. You're in the picture. You think you know it all. We think we know what we're doing. Like you say, you're Regina Sunshine. You don't need no coaches.
Yes.
You don't need no coaches. But when you think about people who are highly successful at what they do, Michael Jordan. He said, I'm not playing for nobody but Phil Jackson. I was watching the last day, and he was committed. I want the best coach. The best coach can fine-tune my game to a way where it can elevate me to a whole new level. When you got a coach who's committed to your growth and your prosperity, and who's more successful than you are, they are able to fine-tune, just sandpaper you down. You got everything you need. You just need a little sandpaper, somebody to give you a to-do list, and you just commit to that to-do list. These are things, having a coach is like picking up the breadcrumbs left behind by successful people. They leave breadcrumbs, and all you got to do is pick up the breadcrumbs, and it will lead you to the same path they're on. So we definitely could benefit from a coach. Thank you for that. Good, ma'am. And I like this term.
Can I give her a shout out? I got to give her a shout out. Her name is Lanita Mitchell Blackwell. She's a FAMU graduate. I just had to say that because I know that's where you are.
Turn up. She's a rattler. You have to share with me her information. Show with me her information if you could do so kindly. Good, ma'am. I greatly appreciate that.
I will.
And yes, ma'am. You mentioned earlier about being alone, spending time with yourself earlier. I finished my comprehensive exams Friday, and to celebrate, I watched a movie called Hurricane starring Denzel Washington. Never seen it. But in Hurricane, he was in prison for a wrongful conviction or whatnot. But the scene that stood out to me, that spoke to me, was he was comfortable being alone. He was in a prison cell. He never left. He stayed in there by himself. And he used that time to be alone, to make himself better and to make himself grow. And a lot of times, we don't like to be alone. We like to, be around other people. It makes us feel good. But when you're by yourself, you can talk to God. And God can give you the things that you can get when you're not listening. All the noise is gone. Cancel out the noise. Let God talk to you. One-on-one. Be by yourself. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that one. Now, we're on the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube. And the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube is to see the bigger picture. Now, seeing the bigger picture is a metaphor for keeping your commitment to your commitments. When you experience the trials and the tribulations of life, The storms of life will happen. Everybody will experience the ups and the downs of life. How do you keep your commitment to your commitments when life seems like everything is going wrong?
Well, I always remind myself that it's not about me. It's bigger than me.
Come on.
That I'm merely a tool in, what is a larger picture, and I think about the people that I'm here to reach. And I think about, when I'm doing a women's conference and maybe there's one woman in the audience, and when she came in, all you could see was darkness, and now the light bulb was on in her eyes. I think about the girls who need to know that, they're worthy of having the best things in life, and they can, live their dreams. I think about why I'm here. That keeps me going. I always tell people, when in doubt, serve. Whatever's going on in your life, go find somebody else to serve that's in a worse position than you are, and you will forget about whatever's going on with you, at least for that time. Or it will remind you the things in your life that you have to be thankful for. So I remind myself, and I actually have, these things written down so I can go back and remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, that it's bigger than me, that, once my life is over, the work will continue because it's not about me. And I kind of remove myself from the picture and keep it going.
We are pixels. We are small pixels in a bigger picture. And we need to understand that we are connected to everybody. It's so crazy how right now we just affected somebody on the other side of the world. We don't know how, we don't know in what way, shape, form, or fashion, but we did. Because all of us are pixels in a bigger picture. And if we do a great job of serving others, then we can step into our greatness. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Um, Mr. Martin, he shouted you out. Regina is awesome. We have Miss Michelle. She said, "That's good. It's about others." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take the focus off you for a while and place the focus on other people. It's crazy how people are willing to do things for other people that they would not do for themselves. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Growing up in school, I was a community child. I wanted to make people proud. I don't think I would have. Me personally, I don't think I had the drive inside of me to do it for myself. I wanted to make my people proud. I wanted to do it for them to make them proud. Now I want to make my kids proud. I want to make the people who've invested in me proud. And if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Serve for the people to make them proud. Miss Robin, yeah, it's not about us building up others while we build ourselves. Have a servant's heart. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that, Ms. Rodney. All right. Now we are officially done with solving our Rubik's Cube. First step, believe. Second step, solve your cross. Third step, fill in your corners. Fourth step is to take it to the next level. And step five is to keep your commitment to your commitments. There is a bonus step, however. The bonus step. Have you ever seen someone try to solve the Rubik's Cube by taking the stickers off of it? So, in
Yes.
so when you solving a Rubik's Cube by taking the stickers off, all you do is end up with a ruined Rubik's Cube. You mess it up. If you try to take the stickers off life, there are no shortcuts in life. If you try to take the stickers off life, all you do is end up with a ruined life. Do you have any advice that you would want to share with people about avoiding the shortcuts and following the steps or the plan of action that you have set forth for you?
Well, one of the things that is so important is that you educate yourself in whatever you want to do. Just because you have a gift for it doesn't mean that you're always going to be excellent in it. So I'm always telling people, if you love to draw, yeah, you may have a gift for that, but go to school, get some more tools, add some more onto that so that you can make sure that you're truly excellent at what you do. And understand that it is a journey, it is a process, and embrace the process, because what happens along the journey is you grow and you learn and you change so that you can become who you need to be for the next level of the journey. Every part of this journey requires a new part of you, a new growth in you. So make sure you're not trying to jump from level 1 to level 2 and you still got a level 1 mindset, right?
Mm,
Or trying to
come
jump from level 2 to level
on.
5 and you still thinking like you did when you were level 2, because you're going to mess it up. So
Mhm.
understand that it's a process, and the growth that you go through on that process is going to help you to be just who God needs you to be when you get where you're going.
Wow, it is so crazy when you get to a certain point where you're big on personal development. You notice the point. John Maxwell, he's a preacher, but he's also a personal development guru, leadership guru. He speaks on all the time the power of the law of the lid. You know,
Yes.
you can only go to a certain point for people to follow you. If you're a five, you can't have tens following you because you're a five. You have their, you should be following them. And in the same breath, if you want to elevate yourself to develop your influence and to grow more followers, you need to raise your level of influence by building yourself up, by going to personal development sessions, reading the books, watching the videos, doing the work, putting the work in, and getting you a coach. So, Miss Regina, every time I talk to you, it's a pleasure. Every time I get the opportunity to work with you, it's an honor. I'm so grateful for your presence. I'm thankful that you walked into GME those years ago, and we've been in contact since then. So it's been an honor knowing you. Thank you for serving. And you have been unofficially appointed the woman tour of Ayana. So my baby girl got somebody to look up in you, good man. Let me
Oh,
let me
that's
to
so
these
sweet.
Rodman, yeah, it's not about us, but building up others while we build ourselves. Have a servant's heart. Okay. Thank you, Miss Rodman. Love you, Regina. Thank you for always keeping it real with me. See you tomorrow. Um, this is a
Well,
great show.
I want to mention Robin Shockley. You know, everything that Robin is about service, and I
Mhm.
love her so much. And she's the person always said, "Sow where you want to grow." That's one of her phrases. Sow where you want to
So
grow.
you want
So if you want to be a better speaker, then you sow into a life of another speaker. Get around them. If you want to be a better business owner, sow into someone else's business. So I have to give Robin a shout out for being such a great example of what it looks like to truly serve people, because that's who she is. Love you,
come,
girl.
come on. Thank you, Miss Rodman. Thank you for your influence on mankind and womankind. Rachel said, awesome show. Thank you from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul. Michelle, great show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I received the blessings. Yes, embrace your growth
Michelle
opportunity.
Gerald from my hometown.
What was
Michelle
that?
Gerald is from my hometown, Tabor City, North Carolina. She's
Turn up,
also a
turn up.
talk show host, the Michelle G Show. Shout out to
Michelle, okay, okay, we're gonna have to connect. Derek standing for great show. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you bunches too. Y'all here. This is a beautiful thing to see this all this black love and people showing each other support and growth and yeah. So before we leave, when we have a person of your caliber, we gotta take full advantage. Are there any lasting words that you would like to leave with us that can help us take it to the next level and step into our greatness, good man?
Well, the first thing I want to say is never give up. Derek, your life is such a beautiful example of what happens when someone doesn't give up. And when I met you at GME 8 years ago, it's been 8 years, you were someone who had flunked out of school and was still doing great work in the community, but you still had a burning desire to go back and finish and make things right. And since then, I've seen you just like I said, grow and change and achieve great things and become this amazing father and just an asset to everyone that you're connected with. And so your life is a true example of what happens when you don't quit, what happens when you don't give up. And I'm so proud of you. And now I'm getting emotional, but I am, because I know the fight that it had to take for you to get to where you are now. And I am so excited about all the young people that will see your life and they will say, because Derek didn't give up, I'm not going to give up. So thank you for that. My grandson is here now. He wants to know why I'm crying. Another thing I always say is, it's not over till I win. There's always a way to win. That's what I tell people. There's always, you just got to find out what it is. What is that thing in your life? So if this route doesn't work, then you take another one, but you don't give up until you win. And remember that people are watching it. There are people right now who are watching every move you take, and they will achieve their dreams. They will keep going because they see you moving forward. So those are the things I leave with you. And give. When in doubt, give. Something's going
Mm.
wrong in your life, give. You don't know what to do, give. Find somebody somewhere that is in a worse situation than you and give your time, your talents, your ability, your finances, your love. Just give, because I promise you, it'll come back to you in such tremendous measure that you can't even contain it. So thank you, Derek, so much for having me. Thank you to the audience for listening, to those people that I love, Michelle Gerald, Robin Shockley. And let me say one more thing to my family. I have a family that supports me on a level that it's just too much to measure. I hear people complain about going home for the holidays because they're going to get into this argument, that argument with their family, and I've never experienced that. I have a family that if I said today, hey y'all, let's fly to the moon, they're like, well, hold on, let's make a list of what we're going to need to get to the moon. They are going to make sure that I have what I need to achieve my dreams. And to my sister Pamela, my mama, or Alicia, all of you guys, my son Gabriel, my grandson, I thank y'all for having my back so I can be Regina Sunshine.
First of all, y'all, Regina about to have me crying on this show. So thank you for getting that. I appreciate the praise. Thank you. It has been a beautiful journey. There's beauty in the struggle, and I'm so grateful for being able to get back on the right path. I'm so grateful for those opportunities, and grateful for the opportunity to make you proud, good man. Like I said, some people need to make other people proud, and I want to make you proud. So thank you for that. Let's get to Regina is the best encourager. You have a lot of support and a lot of people who support you on this, watching tuning in with us. Jason said, awesome growth. Growth is the key. Don't quit. She's a great mentor to me, and I am who I am because she taught me never to give up. One mentor. I'm big on this. One mentor. One mentor. You're awesome. Yes, you are, good man. I can wholeheartedly concur, Jason. And I love you so much. I wouldn't be doing what I do if it were not there to speak into my life, push me and to support me. Yeah. A lot of people are grateful for you, good man. I'm definitely one of them. Continue to keep putting in the work that you're doing. Continue to keep serving. If there's anything that I can do to serve, please use me. Use me, good man. For those of y'all watching, thank y'all for tuning in to Solve It Sundays. We're here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Miss Regina, thank you again from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul. Y'all be great like the lakes and be blessed like a sneeze. Peace. Regina, you stay on.